Hi folks, this is your MWIS Winter Planner updated on Friday the 2nd of February. That does mean it's officially Groundhog Day again, and it does feel like we've been stuck in a rut for a good while now, with charts with lots of isobars on, upland gales and storm force winds over the mountains, and that's what we've got today, and we've got some pretty windy conditions onwards through the weekend as well. Things looking chillier though as we go through the week ahead. We've got some very mild air that's wafting in from the southwest at the moment, and this is the temperature anomaly in relation to the average for early February, and some very mild air is wafting all the way across Europe at this stage. Colder air is lying just to the north of Scotland, and that will have some attempt at moving southwards at times during this period. Notice how things change though during the week ahead. That's the 5-day spell from the 8th through to the 13th of February. Mild air stays across Europe, but we drag those temperatures down below average across much of Britain and Ireland, with the airflows coming in from the northwest. When you look at the pressure patterns averaged out over the week ahead, we'll see that lower than average pressure still prevails, which is perhaps a bit more potent than some longer range models had from a week or so ago. High pressure still elusively away from us at this time. We've got one centre of low pressure due to be broadly around Scandinavia. That will draw in that more northwesterly airflow direction through the week, but little areas of low pressure come jogging in from the Atlantic as well through from the southwest, and that can present some complications in the week ahead in terms of the scope for some snowfalls as precipitation runs into chillier air. Plenty of precipitation to come as well, and this is the 5 days through until the 7th of February, the accumulation. West and northwest Scotland are seeing the greatest amounts here. This is a mix of rain, sleet and snow across the hills. At lower elevations, mostly rain though, so some very wet conditions underfoot on lower terrain. Some rain and drizzle at times across western parts of England and Wales, smaller amounts here but still enough to be fairly persistently wet. Eastern regions seeing drier conditions, all things relative. The next 5-day period taking you through towards midnight on the 12th, and it's a focus of wetter conditions more widely across the British Isles, with northern Scotland seeing comparatively less by this stage, and wetter conditions focus that bit further south, so the risk of some extensive rain, sleet and hill snow in the forecast. What form that takes, of course, depends on the temperature and therefore the freezing level, and at the moment it's very mild air that's seeing temperatures above freezing by a good few degrees to the highest tops. That freezing level will drop down through Friday night into Saturday, so Saturday daytime sees the freezing level somewhere between 700 metres towards northern Scotland to 1,000 metres nearer to the central belt, and generally still above freezing much of the day on the high tops across northern England. It may just dip close to zero on the highest Lakeland summits later on in the afternoon. That freezing level still stays very similar into Sunday. If anything, it rises a bit from the south with time, but it's still sub-zero across the Scottish mountains from 700 or 800 metres upwards, and maybe a bit lower than that in the far north. Late in the day and overnight into Monday, we will see that lift of temperature again as a warm front pushes northwards and the Scottish tops go back above freezing, at least for a time, into Monday. So anything that falls as snow will start to thaw once again. That freezing level then once more comes back down as we head through Tuesday, and it looks as though through the middle of the week lower freezing levels extend further southwards, even across England and Wales. The freezing level suggested by Wednesday to be between around 600 and 800 metres widely, and potentially lower even in northern Scotland. So sub-zero widely across the mountains, with some frozen terrain once more, and that scope for precipitation to fall widely as snow on the tops. Some complications later in the week. There'll be uncertainties exactly where that boundary does lie, but the scope for staying cold across northern regions, maybe some milder air getting into Wales. To show you what that does in the forecast for snow depth according to this model, we have very little of fresh snow around this weekend. There will have been thawing from Friday, and the snow that's around is more or less just what exists from previous times, the compacted, consolidated old snow that is around higher terrain over the Highlands. Take that story on, and there's some light, fresh accumulations just develop over the Highlands this weekend. Through Sunday daytime, there could be some extensive upland snowfalls that do develop, so some fresh accumulations developing there through the day and into the evening before it does turn back to rain, as we saw that temperature went back up again. So that will thaw into Monday. Take things on through the week ahead though, and things do start to fill in with some fresh accumulations, even indicated by Thursday time, further south across England and Wales, and that will really hinge on just how how far south that colder air does get. So treat that cautiously at this stage for the scope for lying snow all the way as far south as that, but it shows the potential for getting some fresh accumulations more widely across the country during the week. Looking through those general weather maps through the week ahead, and at the moment then this weekend we have the high to the south and we've got those westerly winds prevailing. The air that's across England and Wales coming in from a very mild source around the Azores, if not even North Africa in its origins. So that's the mild air that's across the south. Scotland's being fed by the air that's coming more from Greenland and off the North Atlantic, so there's the scope for the cooler air and some snow showers over the mountains. Some weak fronts draped through, giving rain and drizzle, especially across Wales through Saturday. That pushes back a bit northwards into the lakes on Sunday, and another front coming off the Atlantic does turn that more persistent into Scotland, with that upland snow turning to rain later on in the day. The mild southwesterlies then push in through Monday, so there's the mild air that we're expecting. A cold front will eventually come back southwards as we go forwards through into Tuesday, so there's that drop of temperature, some extensive rain turning to upland snow more extensively by this stage as well. Stays rather windy with the risk of upland gales for a time, especially further south. The wind looking like easing somewhat through Tuesday further north, but keep an eye on forecast details. A lot can change in just local detail by that time. A slow-moving front is due to be over England and Wales around Tuesday night, that giving some heavy falls of rain, turning to snow over the high tops in the Lake District at least. And then it's that more northerly airflow that's around through the middle part of the week, so lower temperatures, some snow showers coming down from the north. Detail and confidence in the forecast does become pretty sketchy, it must be said, by this stage. There's that low over the Atlantic coming lumbering in, and that may then give that risk of some more widespread upland snowfalls by the stage, some rain for Wales, and all generally looking rather unsettled still. The trends further onwards suggest that those low pressure systems start to split apart a little bit. A zone of low pressure would become focused over Central Europe through the week from the 12th to the 19th of February. High pressure building to the west, and that ridge that exists there would block the progress of Atlantic weather systems, allows a chillier airflow to circulate in from the north. So that period is looking colder, maybe more persistently so by that time. Drier too if we do get that ridge of high pressure to build nearer to us. Indications favour that ridge being in play as we head toward the later stages of the month. Quite a blocked weather pattern emerging there if that does develop like that. It's been a signal that's been around on the models for a while, so that does seem to be the trend later in the month. So a drier and again chillier outlook in the second half of February. Here at MWIS, we're looking forward to being part of Fort William Mountain Festival in mid-February, and if you want to brush up on your weather skills, we are running a couple of workshops over the weekend of the 17th and 18th. You can find all the details and booking information on the website. We'll keep you up to date with the prospects for wintry conditions during that period. Thanks for watching this video today. Bye for now.